Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a final edition of the Bluegrass Xfinity Series here on a Monday night. Normally, racing on Tuesdays. Haven't had a broadcast last week, but gonna have one this week on Monday to have the championship race, and really glad to be a part of it and get to see who gets the crown champion here in the Xfinity Series, and that is the tail of the tape and what we're talking about tonight. Alex Penn, Daniel Cunningham, David Farmer, and Michael Kosick going to fight it out to see who becomes champion here tonight, and it's going to be an interesting race. We got 9 drivers in the field today, so that's going to really spread things out. I mean, it should make the race go by relatively quickly, but with it being the way that it looks like it's going to be tough to, if you hit the ground running, green flag drops, and you're not where you need to be, and you haven't done the practice you need, you can find yourself behind the 8 ball really, really quickly. So, but you see there, Alex Penn, Daniel Cunningham, and David Farmer all have wins. Michael Kosick without a win, but was able to make it into the Final Four. So really impressive stuff there. If he can win without winning the race, he might do a little Matt Kenseth and win the championship without ever winning a race. That'd be interesting to see. But I think they're going to have to win it to win the race to be the champion here tonight. I don't think you're going to get away with it like that. But we're at Homestead here tonight. Everybody knows all about that. We're going to be up on the high line. We're going to be down on the bottom. We're going to be right in the middle. And hopefully nobody's going to be in the sand barrels. That's not where you want to be. So we'll see how that kind of migrates through the race. You see a lot of guys going to save tire right around the bottom. But once it gets racy, you're going to be near the top. Homestead, Florida, opened in 1995. A capacity of 46,000 people, and the quintessential 1.5 miler. Just a great racetrack. And it's a good one for a final race. I think Phoenix is fine, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Homestead. But let's talk to some drivers. Let's talk to your Final Four, as we'll leave the standings up just for a moment, and we'll talk to some drivers, see what they think about the race, and we'll start with Alex Penn. We got Alex in the booth. This is Eddie. You got a copy? Well, here we are down at the final race of the season. Only 9 drivers, but it's fine because you're worried only about 3 anyway. You came in here, you seem to be, kind of one of the favorites for sure. But Homestead, Miami, how do you feel about the track? How does the car feel tonight? And without giving too much away, what is your plan for attacking a race that could be a relatively caution-free race?
For me, number one is just going to be use the stage to my advantage. Just learn as much as possible. See what works, what lines work, what doesn't work, and just really focus on gauging myself against those 3 other drivers of Farmer, Cunningham, and Kostic. Because like you said, I really don't care about the rest of the field and where they finish tonight.
Yeah, and so you talked a little bit about that stage break. I mean, the stage break is at lap 80, so, I mean, it's almost right before halfway, so it does give you a chance. If you miss it, if something goes wrong in the long run, you can make up the difference. I mean, talk a little bit about that. I mean, I think we all know, maybe me and you know what you need to do, but, I mean, with a fixed setup and you go into a race like this, what adjustments would you make in a scenario like this where, hey, maybe I burnt the right front up a little bit too much?
Biggest thing probably is going to be trying different lines out. Another option might be working with the brake bias, see if I can get a little bit more rotation, maybe a little bit less rotation if I think that's what I need. But I think choosing different lines is what is going to be the biggest difference.
All right. Well, man, good luck tonight. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
And we'll get him right back as the grid is starting to form here. And we will get this thing rolling. But we're going to keep talking to drivers. We're going to talk to the next Cornerstone Motorsports driver. And we're going to get David Farmer up into the booth with us. David, y'all are getting gridded up now, but how are you feeling about the race tonight? We just talked to your teammate, Alex. He said he's really looking forward to that stage break and getting up there and trying to, if he makes a mistake, get up there, in that stage, make some adjustments. But what so far have you learned without giving too much away, and how are you going to attack this race with just 9 drivers in the field tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be not a war of attrition so much, but just taking care of the tires. You gotta take care of those rear tires, especially the right rear. The car just gets uncontrollable off the corner. So, and then you have no speed down the back stretch or the front stretch, and that'll be the killer here. Just maintaining tires and being patient with it, and hoping for the guy in front of you to make a little bit of a mistake and take advantage of it.
Well, you've had a really good season, and I mean, with only 9 drivers in the race, do you feel like you're pretty much going to have to win the race to win the championship?
Yeah, I mean I think that's the way this race will play out. It'll be fun to be here last race of the season with the guys, but we are here with 9 guys or whatever 7 guys, whatever the number is total. But yeah, I mean I'm excited to be here, excited to get going, see what happens here.
All right. Well, man, thanks for talking to us. Good luck in the race tonight.
Thanks, man.
There you go. Let's bring Daniel Cunningham in here. We're going to try to get all of them in here before we get rolling as the grid is starting to get going. Daniel Cunningham in the chat with us right now. Daniel, how you feeling about the race pretty quickly here?
I don't know. It seems like I'm pretty slow right now, so anything higher than 4th, I guess, will be better than what I'm anticipating.
Well, how are you planning on attacking this track without giving too much away?
I don't know. Raise hell, praise Dale, and go full send, I guess. It's about the only thing I got right now, to be honest with you.
All right, man. Well, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right, and we're getting ready to go green. We will get Costigan here a little bit later. I'm sure he didn't want to talk to me anyway. So we'll go ahead and get into the grid here at the end of this thing. Alex Penn, David Farmer going to be your top 2. Sean Kaiser and Scott Fritz, 3rd and 4th. 5th, 6th going to be Michael Kosick, Daniel Cunningham. 7th and 8th, Barrett Morton, Tony Iverson, and Michael Cole going to round out the field here as we get ready to go green. 200 laps here at Homestead. It is going to be a long one, so strap in as we get ready to go green here. 200 laps to settle this championship here in the Bluegrass Xfinity Series. All right, lap 1 in the books. Alex Penn does take over the top spot. David Farmer, though, right behind him, keeping him in tow in 200 laps. What does this change about how you operate? Well, there's less urgency. There is really no urgency before the first 80 laps. I think the only thing that you want to do is make sure you don't get lapped. And Alex Penn, I think, really said it perfectly. At this point, yeah, you would like to be, with only 9 cars, you don't really need to worry too much about track position. You'd like to be in the top 2 or 3 when you go down to pit road, so, for that stage. So, you want to maintain, or we're going to have a pit stop here, in this stage, so before the stage break, I mean. So it's going to be important that you do all of those things right, no mistakes. I mean, a speeding penalty in the first stage would just be the silliest thing you could do. There's no reason to speed. But right now, it's all about deciding, is what I did in practice, is it good? Right now, Alex Penn, David Farmer, they're feeling each other out. No reason for David to really push the issue too much, but he needs to see what his car has, what he can do. And what lines he can try to run, how well does it work, and by the end of this stage, and these guys will have a pretty clear picture for that 120 lap run to the finish. So that's what this is about at the moment, is just feeling the car out. It is a patient game with these 100% race links. I mean, it's a full length Xfinity race. If the field was a lot bigger, if you had 30 cars, I think the strategy would be a lot different. But right now, you really can be patient. It's almost like a Talladega Daytona, where you have a chance to just calm down, be easy with it. You just want to make sure whatever happens, you don't go a lap down. That could probably be the worst thing that could happen for a championship driver. But right now, Alex Penn He is your leader. David Farmer kind of looking like he wants to, jump up to the outside. He enters in a little bit higher. You see Scott Fritz running them down here as they go to cross the line for lap number 6. Cunningham there in the 4th spot. He has made up a couple spots since we dropped the green flag, but David Farmer goes up to the outside, going to drive it deep into the corner, going up to the top side pretty quickly. With him talking about it being loose, that's something that you'll see, the top side be more of a factor early. Normally, that top side will burn your tires up if you're not careful. But if you're having a loose condition, it could help to get up there and burn them up a little bit. But, on the outside, you're really laying the throttle down. It could actually make it worse, just depending on the weather, which we'll take a look at right here. 91 degrees here at Homestead. So I think a pretty solid temperature to be racing at. I think the tire wear will be good. I don't think we'll see anything crazy. Right now, it's looking really, really good for David Farmer as he's out front here early. But I like long races. I think those are underrated. They're tough on a broadcaster for sure, and they're tough to try to get folks to come to them. But I do like longer races. A lot more strategy involved, a lot more patience. There's no reason to get in too big of a hurry. So it really takes that urgency out of it and says, hey, I've got, plenty of time. But once we come down for that stage, there will be a little bit of urgency. I think if you haven't adjusted and figured out, you hadn't been watching, seeing what these other guys are doing, you could be in trouble. So it's all about learning right now, trying things, seeing what works. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity to, if you feel like this is what I need to do, I'm not really sure how this other line, would work. You might jump up there and try maybe the high line early, see if it works, see what it does, so you'll know what to expect. It's the same thing with Daytona Talladega races, where you get up there, you try to draft, make moves, get up to the field, and because you need to have those skills once the once it comes down to the last 5 or 10 laps there, you'll want to have that knowledge in the old memory bank. So Scott Fritz is looking pretty quick here early. He's run down Alex Penn, currently running behind him, trying to run him down, try to keep up with David Farmer. Scott not in the playoffs in the Final Four, but we definitely appreciate folks who show up in these races, and it's tough. It's always the same way in every single league I think I've ever been in. You get down to the Final Four, people just stop showing up. Either they don't want to, in this particular race, they don't want to pay to be a part of a Final Four race they're not involved with, or they're nervous, they don't want to get up there and maybe have an accident with the Final Four and change the outcome of the championship. So it's a different thing. We don't have sponsors that we're in NASCAR. They have sponsors, so they have to be out on the track, and there's prize money for showing up. You've got to charge. I mean, there's so many reasons to be on the track in NASCAR, but here in the virtual world, it's a totally different story. And so you'll see these championship races fall off quite a bit unless there's some big incentive. We see people try things all the time. Things like, hey, the highest finishing, 5 non-playoff drivers, get a payout of some sort of money or something like that. So there's different ways of doing it, but it's still, even with that, it's really difficult to get folks to show up at those races. But the Truck Series and Xfinity Series that I've called this season have had some really healthy fields, so this is really no different. I think a lot of people like to take shots at leagues and stuff that when this stuff happens, but this happens everywhere. I've never been in a league that has a full field at the end of a season like this particular kind. So top 3 kind of spread out. You go back here to the 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2 of these playoff drivers, and all 3 of them, and with Barrett Morton about half a second back, JC Motorsports. So they have their strategy, and we're going to see how it plays off. The tire wear is going to be pretty massive here at Homestead. You're going to see a massive fall off. These guys running 33.4s to start with. Now they're in the 34.2s after just 14 laps So we're going to see who's good on the long run, and it can sneak up on you here at Homestead. You'll be out there. You see Michael Kostic looking down to the inside of Cunningham, but this is one of those tracks you can definitely save tires on. If you push it too hard too early, you're definitely able to make up that time down the road versus some tracks where if you let them get out too far ahead, you won't be able to run them down. But you can run somebody down on the long run from 4 or 5 seconds back if you're able to take care of those tires. So that is the name of the game for these guys right here, just trying to stay in it, not get locked out. But right now it looks like the front two have kind of pulled away, with the front three, as these three right here are about 1.5 seconds back from Scott Fritz and 2.5 back from David Farmer. And it looks like a little bit of follow the leader. Barrett Morton has kind of joined the fray, but I know these guys really well, especially the JC Motorsports, and I've gotten to know a lot of. So that's the fun part about broadcasting a league, especially one that you don't know, is getting in here and learning the characteristics, the driving characteristics. You play Mario Kart, and you know that Donkey Kong and Bowser have the high speed but terrible handling. And, you have those characteristics, and leagues are a lot like that, where you learn the drivers and their characteristics, you learn what their tendencies are, and you know what to expect in almost every race. I think that's a part of being a broadcaster, is learning about the guys on the track. And Kostic, Cunningham, Kaiser, I mean, there's just a collective team effort to always not necessarily go up there and just dominate from the beginning. I don't know of them. I think Sean Kaiser might be the only one that will consistently go up there and be aggressive early. These guys are always playing the long game, which has sort of been their MO all season long. I mean, think about Kostic there with 0 wins on the season, but he is in the Final Four, a very competitive type series. And for him to be in the Final Four with 0 wins just kind of tells you exactly what kind of driver he is. Matt Kenseth, I mentioned that earlier. Very good. I'd say a really good analogy. I don't know how good Matt Kenseth was at road courses, but I would say Kostic is a very, very good driver, and he does a fantastic job. And it would not surprise me. Of course, at this point, you get down to the Final Four, nobody really surprised you if they win the championship. I think right now, even with Kostic having no wins, I still think Daniel Cunningham is sort of the underdog. So I'm always pulling for underdogs. So if I had to pull for a driver, if somebody asked me, I think I'm going to pull for that 08. I'd like to see him get the championship here tonight. Right now he's going the wrong way, though. Kostic has started to pull away, and now Sean Kaiser to the back bumper of that 08 machine. And so Cunningham going to have to dig down deep, find him a little bit. It seems like he is struggling here on the long run. I tell you who's not struggling is Alex Penn up here in the second position. He has started to run down David Farmer just a little bit as we get into lap 20 of 200, 10% of the way through. And you're starting to see Alex Penn make up a good amount of time after falling back just a little bit. I was able to get all three out of the 4 drivers in the playoffs during the grid there. Actually, I think I asked too many questions to I think David, so that was my fault. But we'll get Kostic up here, and we'll get a little mid-race break at the stage break and see what he thought about the first stage and his plan moving forward. So we're going to talk to all 4 of the championship drivers here tonight. Look at Scott Fritz all the way up at the top. Running up at the top there in 1 and 2, and then running down here bottom of 3 and 4. And you can see that steering wheel, a little bit of counter steer there. You can see where it's getting a little bit loose now here as we're getting into the run. already fallen off to 34 nines. And the car actually looks really, really tight on entry, which is quite possibly the worst combination, being really, really tight on entry and really loose from middle off. You see, really having to kind of struggle to get down to the bottom of this track. And that's what I love about Homestead. I mean, you can see, he's losing ground from these guys, but he's able to run both lines. They're running the bottom, and he's running the top, and he's keeping pace. I mean, he's running similar lap times to these guys. So one of the favorite things about Homestead is that right there, is being able to move around the track, try some different things. If the car is not handling certain corners and areas well, you can move up, try some different spots. One of these days we will have, we're going to have rubbered up tracks where you have to move around no matter what track. That day will be the day that I probably quit broadcasting and I start racing again, because I can't wait for that. But look right here, the entry of 1 and 2. I mean, he's really sliding the front tires, trying to get that thing slowed down. And look at that, just how loose. It doesn't look like it, but man, I'm telling you, he is really free on the exit. And every time you slide those tires, every time those rear tires come out from under you, it's only going to make those slides a lot worse. He actually bounces off the apron there. So, and he's sitting there running third. So Scott doing as good as he can. He's starting to see the car fall off a little bit and the handling go away. Right now, David Farmer gets out front, and Alex Finn was running him down a little bit, but David has been able to maintain as Alex probably got a little bit in that dirty air. That front end gets a little bit tighter, and that changes the handling of it pretty quick. So, I mean, as I'm looking at the moment, it looks like Cornerstone Motorsports currently has the best plan going into this race. Is they are now about 3 seconds ahead of Michael Kostick, the first JC Motorsports driver. So JC Motorsports going to have to dig down deep. They need to be talking and having some discussion, saying, hey, what are we doing wrong? You know, what's the problem here? And but we'll see. I mean, there's still a good bit left to go in this stage, and we're going to have green flag pit stops at some point. And so we'll see. Let's do a little, I mean, I know there's not a lot of cars. Let's do a little crank it up and watch as these guys go around this track. Well, all right. Well, so there, I snuck away during that crank it up. We went and ran downstairs. We ran across the track. Went to some crew chief. I don't have a pit road reporter, so I couldn't phone him in. So I went and just ran over there real quick. I'm not out of breath though, so I'm in incredible shape. But 55 to 60 laps is sort of the idea for fuel. So that's what we'll be running to. So right now we're just basically right in the middle of this run. So I think we'll start to see the tire situation start to play itself out here soon. But right now I'm looking at the times. Michael Kostick was about 2/10 faster than your leaders. So we may be seeing that kind of show itself. Kostick, obviously very, very good on the long run. We'll check the times at the lap, at the line, and see if he can continue to do that. Right now, Kostick and Kaiser, both faster than the leaders at the moment. Scott Fritz as well. So these guys out to an early lead may be a little bit too quick, too soon. We'll see. Still 170 laps left in this race. We got a long way to go. But I'm interested. This first run, I think it's going to be pretty telling. I don't want to go away or take a break or do anything like that during this first stage. I think this is the most telling, and we can gather the most information. But as it crossed the line, Kostick now about a tenth and a half slower than the leader, David Farmer, who is able to run a 34.988 out in the lead, which is the fastest, the only one still in the 34-second bracket, albeit very close to 35. That time by, Scott Fritz well off the pace as now Michael Kostick has started to run him down that top side. We don't see any of the championship drivers using that top side. Scott was the only one to venture up there and give it a shot, and it's definitely not working out in his favor. And it seems like regular Homestead is sort of rearing its ugly head, which is you run the bottom to conserve tire, and there's just so much fall off. It's pretty incredible how much fall off there is here at Homestead, which is a good thing. I mean, you want it to be that way, but that just means you have to run the bottom to save tire. You can jump up to the outside and make passes like we saw David Farmer do. He jumped up the outside, made a pass, jumped right back down to the bottom to save those tires. So, while it's you definitely need to run the bottom, being able to run the top, make passes is a good thing, but it seems like right now the top side is just detrimental to your tires. And you can see Kostick right on the back bumper of Scott Fritz now. He's got able to get the run. I mean, that's sort of the beauty of the top side, is being able to basically prevent the guy from getting the run. If he's on the bottom, like Kostick needs to be able to use the whole track here. Here, Homestead's a little bit different, but you see, just not able to use the whole track, have to scrub off a little bit too much speed, and that makes it difficult for him to complete this pass, but he doesn't have to push that hard. He just needs to be patient, and should be able to get it done. We may have a battle for the lead, though, as we're watching this battle for third. David Farmer, Alex Penn goes down to the inside. We'll see if Farmer can hold him off or if Alex can make this pass. Similar situation that Kostick in. Kostick trying to make that pass, and you see Alex just not able to do it on the bottom. It looks so odd because these guys have been running the bottom the whole time, but it's like I said, when you're up on the top side, you're able to keep momentum up. In the bottom, you have to scrub speed off from the middle exit. That really just hurts your overall lap time. So even though they've been running the bottom, and that is the fastest way, whenever you're side by side, the top side is just a really awesome to defend, and makes it pretty interesting. But Farmer holds on to the top spot for now as he uses that top side to defend successfully. And Scott Fritz has been able to hold off Kostick here as well. Alex Penn going to take another go at it. It's going to be tough. We'll see if he can. I mean, honestly, you're kind of hoping that Farmer makes a little bit of mistake, has to lift. He gets a little bit too high in the middle of the corner. Sees he runs up against the wall, running a high line. He enters it about a lane lower, so give that car some room to push up the middle. You don't want to get into the wall. That's a good way to lose the lead pretty quickly. I mean, he's able to gain a ton of time off of two, and he's going to come back down to the bottom and retake the lead. So Alex trying to find a way around him. Oh, here we go. First pit stop. Going to split the stage right in half as David Farmer comes down pit road here early. These guys have 6 tires on for the race. You can see right there, total tire set 6. So they got plenty of tires to work with. I don't think they'll use all of them, but it's good to know that you have it. And David going to make sure that he protects that lead. Going to come down early, not feeling like there's going to be any cautions. You see the JC Motorsports boys coming down as well. Good way to stay out front is to come down first with those new set of tires. Pretty much going to cause Alex Penn to come down almost immediately if he wants to keep up, and that's exactly what he does. So see Michael Kostick coming down pit road along with Sean Kaiser as David Farmer comes out of pit road. Now Scott Fritz still out on the track. He's David Farmer comes out right in front of him, so Farmer still out on the lead lap. If there is a caution, Daniel Cunningham, Barrett Morton, and Tony Iverson would be in trouble here as they would be a lap down. In a small field like this, you do not want to go a lap down. That is the worst thing that can happen. So you want to be careful that you unlap yourself pretty quickly. And Scott Fritz being out front with Michael Cole running this thing a little bit longer, it makes you a little bit nervous if you're Kostick, Kaiser, and Cunningham. Really great job by Alex Penn and David Farmer coming out and staying on the lead lap. Just in case somebody gets loose, spins out, a caution comes out, that could be, that would really be bad. That would pretty much clinch the championship, I think, for David Farmer. I mean, one of them would be able to get the lucky dog on the first caution and then get the lucky dog on the next stage. So I guess they would be okay at this point. But, yeah, you want to get up there, unlap yourself as soon as you possibly can, if possible. And that way you can kind of breathe a little bit easier because you do not want to have to rely on lucky dogs, especially after the stage break. So a little bit of just a nerve-wracking moment here for these two as they try to get up there. And at this point, they're racing for the lucky dog. I think Scott Fritz is right in front of them. See them side by side, so they're racing side by side with the leader right in front of them. They'd love to get up there and get on around him. They will pretty quickly as Scott Fritz currently running at 35.3 and Daniel Cunningham Costa running 33.8. They're coming quickly to see how quickly they close that gap. Scott Fritz coming down pit road here right now, so that will get them back on the lead lap. They can breathe a sigh of relief as they're able to avoid that catastrophe. David Farmer will assume the lead. Alex Penn about 1.3 seconds back, and Michael Kostick and Daniel Cunningham 5.5 seconds back. So not a great sequence for the JC Motorsports boys. Even though they came down at the same time, it seems like David Farmer really laid a really solid entry and exit on pit road. Farmer on pit lane, 38.2 seconds he spent on pit lane. Alex Penn was a little bit faster, but Michael Kostick, Daniel Cunningham, Sean Kaiser in the high, almost half a second slower or more on pit road, and that could make a lot of difference. I mean, apparently it makes about 2.5 second difference. But they still have a stage break, no worries. But you want to make sure that you're getting all that you can get, especially knowing that we're going to have green flag pit stops for the majority of the race. You need to get all you can get. And David Farmer and Alex Penn both did a fantastic job there of getting on and off pit road really quickly. That's going to be where your championship comes from. We're not able to work on setups. You can only change how you drive it. And all the time you can make up, if you think about it, a lot of races you may have one, maybe only 2 pit stops, but here you're possibly going to have 5, ish green flag pit stops, maybe 4. And, that's a lot. So that can make up a big difference and can really spread this field out even more if you're not good on getting on pit road and getting off, trying to get the most that you can. Go back here Got a little train, little JC Motorsports train right now is Cossack's out a little bit ahead of these guys, but then you got Cunningham and Sean Kaiser and Tony Iverson there in that 24 car. That 24 car looks really, really good. I'm going to tell you right now. That is a solid, solid paint job on that Tony Iverson. It would be cool if I could actually turn the camera and see it. There we go. Cool looking scheme as he's working down to the inside of Sean Kaiser, a little bit of Hendrick Motorsports deal here. You see the 5 of Sean Kaiser there with that Kellogg's machine. They are side by side for the fourth position of 5th place. And Tony Iverson going to take that over here on lap 49. We are as Tony Iverson gets really loose off of turn 4 there. And my goodness, that could have been a disaster. We'll go back and check that real quick and see what happened on board with him. See, he's down to the inside. He's going to take over the spot. We're looking at a replay right now. Watch here. You can see it. He is losing it, trying to grab it. Scary, scary moment for him, but he's going right back after him as he is now back down to the inside of Sean Kaiser. So it didn't scare him one bit, but now he's back to racing. Woo, Tony is loose again. Oh, that's the same one. Oh, sorry. I was trying to do a little bit of different replay thing without going back to the replay computer, but I thought I went back live, but I didn't. We watched the same thing, but we saw it again, and he was definitely loose. We checked it. We double checked it, and he was for sure loose. Trying to get it back going though. Trying to get around Barrett Morton. He falls back to 7th. Tony not scared of it at all. Going to go right back down to the inside and go to the inside of the 9. On the screen it says 31, so I'm not real sure about that, but Barrett fights back on the outside, not quite able to clear him going into 1, so Tony will still have that inside position. Tony looks pretty fast right now, regardless of what happened a couple laps ago. We're going to slide up in front of Barrett. Good grief. That was a close moment for both those drivers as Tony really took a liberty there and jumped up in front of Barrett, which not a bad move. Easy way to make that pass and not have to keep fighting it out. Up front, it is still Alex Penn, who took over the top spot at some point. What the heck? Let's go back and look at that. Watch this again. It's a good exit off of turn 4 here. Goes up to the outside and does exactly what David Farmer did to him. Uses that outside to make the pass. And that's how he did it. Took over the top spot. So now Alex Penn out front. Going to lead this thing. Just a few laps to go before this stage, about 25. And we will group everybody back up. I mean, these guys right here have a 5.1 second lead over Michael Kostic, who is running back here in the 3rd spot. Cunningham a couple seconds back with Sean Kaiser right on his back bumper. So these guys would love to get back out there and try to find that little bit of extra. But right now, Alex Penn, David Farmer doing a great job of facilitating passes. When Alex went to the outside, I would imagine David didn't fight too hard, because the more they fight, the more they help Michael Kostick. These guys are teammates. They want to make sure that they control the race. At the end of the day, you want to be there at the end running 1-2. That way you can both fight it out. You want to make sure you keep the other drivers out of this thing. Still watching these two right here. I don't think they're really battling. I think they're just trying to get to this stage break. Just 20 laps to go for this stage. And at this point, I mean, there's really not much to do. I mean, just kind of going to get rid of these laps right now. You know, if you're Cunningham, you don't want to fall back any further if you can help it. He got passed by Sean Kaiser just a few laps ago, but he's running in the 5th spot. Want to make sure he doesn't lose track and lose a couple more spots. And you can see Tony Iverson, Barrett Morton back there. You know, for the top 3, they're in the spot they need to be. Cunningham now is falling back to 5th, and he's got, you know, you don't want to fall back to about 7th or 8th. At the stage, so he's got to fight pretty hard, I would say. I don't think he could just cruise. I think he's got to get up there and be aggressive if he can. He still has any tires left, and at least maintain this 5th position so he can come down pit road, come out in striking distance of the other 3 if he's going to have a chance to get this championship. So I think he's got the most work to do at the moment. I don't think he can move forward. He just doesn't have the pace at the moment. The top 4 in front of him are about 0.2 faster every single lap. So he's going to have to figure something else out at the stage break, try something new, dig down, try to find that extra little bit of speed that he's lacking. But you don't want to put yourself, I mean, if you're lacking in speed, you definitely don't want to put yourself behind the 8 ball in track position as well, even though only 9 drivers. You know, to give yourself a shot at all, you're going to have to be in that top 5, I believe. Barrett Morton and Tony Iverson are still going after it, as Tony going to give him the outside, and I think that's good for Barrett. He should be able to drive into turn 3, use that momentum, and he's going to drive down to the bottom. Interesting. As Scott Fritz now joins us battle, a little 3-way non-playoff driver battle. We love to see that. And here we go. Might have a 3-wide situation here. Scott Fritz does not go 3 wide. Probably smart. And Barrett now going to use that top side to try to get around that 24 machine, who looks to be really, really loose. He is ready for a set of tires, I can tell you. He has been struggling here the last couple laps. As now Scott Fritz going to get to the outside of him. Let's see if right here off of turn 4 how loose this 24 is. Yeah, look at it. He's not able to put the power down. He tried to put the power down, and it started coming out in front of him, sliding those rear tires, and he is going to be struggling. David Farmer does take the lead back from Alex Penn. It seems like they're trading the lead. I'm not going to be baited into that. Oh, man. As Iverson gets really loose off of turn 2, And a great save. I mean, he was pretty much wrecking there, but able to continue on. But it seems like Farmer and Penn are trying to make a little bit of action. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to fall for it. Whew. Scott Fritz actually getting to the wall just a little bit there as he was trying to run that high line. Was able to get off of it. Tony Iverson falls way, way back. Trying to limp around for the next 15 laps. David Farmer still your leader. Alex Penn in second. I'll tell you what. I got a little special treat, maybe. I don't know. Somebody might not like this. I don't know. But while we're waiting on the stage breaks, there's really not much going on between these two, kind of swapping positions every few laps. Let's take a little break, and let's go to a commercial break.
Is this your stomach or this? Well, turn it into this or this with the Flab Blaster. It works to flatten and tighten your stomach so you feel younger, sexier, and oh so firm. With each stretch of the power coil, you can feel the fat burning off, the inches melting away, leaving you leaner, healthier, and more attractive. For your upper abdomen or your lower stomach, nothing shapes your tummy like the Flab Blaster, and it's only $19.99. But wait, order now and get a second one for only $1. You heard right, $1. That's 2 Flab Blasters for just $20.99, and they're guaranteed to bring results. Order yours now. Call 1-800-227-2113 or send $19.99 plus $3 shipping and handling to Flab Blaster, Box 121, Plainville. Order a second for only $1 more. You get 2 for only $20.99.
Oh, Lord, we got music playing. There you go, a little Flab Blaster. If y'all are interested, if you hope you got the phone number off the screen, if you get your pens out and write that down and, have some pens out later. That way you can get those numbers if you're interested in those products. I mean, that would definitely help us out if we can rewind time back to 1987, which are what those are from. Did a 1987's league one time, and we had a special get-up overlay for trying to basically copy the 87 ESPN Speed World series. So we went in there and chopped up a bunch of old broadcasts, got some of their commercials so we could play them during the broadcast to really give you that feel. So we'll play a couple of those tonight just to kind of break up the monotony. If we get a little bit, we're a lull in the broadcast, we'll throw one of those on there just to kind of send you back in time. But yeah, really, really cool. Something we did. Hopefully one day we'll bring them back because that was a lot of fun to have that old look, the old feel, the old Speed World intro, and those old commercials, man, just really added the ambiance, took you back in time as we were racing those 87 cars. So we'll do a little bit more of that. Got a three-way battle back here. As you would think, with only 9 drivers, we'd be real spread out. But these guys have been all over each other. Scott Fritz, who has not had a great second part of this stint, he did come down a little bit later than everybody, but he's finally getting up to these guys after 6 laps. He stayed out longer, really put him well behind the field. So now he's trying to make up those spots that he lost. But we've seen him get into the wall a couple times. He, I think he's just out here having fun. I think that's what you want to do too. Going around these guys on the outside just to see the difference in 4 or 5 lap old tires. Up front, it is still David Farmer, Alex Penn. Alex Penn's still right on the back bumper. They're not letting each other get away. So both of them seem pretty equal. I would love to see, and I think we'll see it after the next 8 laps or so. Oh, man, look at Alex Penn. Really haven't put a lot of counter steer as he was loose getting into the corner. Not racing for anything. as I mean, they're racing for a championship, but there's no stage points or anything on the line. So they're just having fun racing. As Alex going to get the run he needs off the corner and take that top spot. So they're up here just having fun. Makes me nervous a little bit because there are no fast repairs. So if you make a mistake, you get out there and you're giggling and, you know, just hee and make a mistake, you know, overcorrect into the wall, spin out, hit the inside wall, not able to catch or at worst, make contact with each other and take each other out. That would be pretty embarrassing. But these guys are really good. They've got a lot of handling on, you know, a handle of these cars. And even though, you know, it's the difference between, you know, good drivers and, you know, great drivers and good drivers sometimes is you can see these guys getting loose all over the place, but they're never really nervous or worried about losing the car. They know they're in control, even on the bleeding edge of the tire limit. So looks like these guys are just going to have a little bit of fun here before the end of this stage. Before it gets serious, it's going to be go time. So why not have a little bit of fun before we have 120 laps, a little 120 lap sprint to the finish. See that sun, it's not as low as normal, but it's honestly, it's really bad though. I mean, gosh, I need my sunglasses on just watching the broadcast. But these drivers have to deal with that. I mean, if the sun got, you know, way down on the horizon, it would be pretty awful there on the front stretch. So I mean, you could see that is something that something's really cool about this sim. Guys in real life have to worry about this. They'll wear visors and stuff to help with it. And then they go around this time and you see it going behind a cloud. So really cool that kind of stuff works the way that it does, that dynamic sky that allows the clouds to cover, you know, the shade part of the track. That track gains a little bit more grip as it cools off. And the sun pops out on one end of the track and heats that one up. And it gets a little bit looser. You have to pay attention to that, and that's something that these guys have to think about sometimes. That sun, it definitely can get you with the glare, because even on the computer screen, it is pretty bright, and it can really hamper your ability to see what's going on. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is visual. We don't have a feeling in our butts when we're sitting in seats. So a lot of, you know, things like you have force feedback that'll tell you when the steering wheel is coming a little bit loose, but you can't feel the rear end coming out. So you have to use visual to say, okay, I'm getting loose. I need to counter steer. I need to lift a little bit. And if you got that sun in your eyes, you can't do that. And it could be just one little mistake and you find yourself spinning out. But Alex Penn now out to a half a second lead with just a couple laps to go in this stage. And then we're going to get down to business. Here comes Alex Penn off the corner. He's going to take the green and white flag. I don't know what they give for the white flag in the stage, but this, he will go around and complete this lap, and that will be the stage. We get to come down pit road, and we're going to talk to some of these drivers, see what they feel about their car and how everything's going. But Alex Penn has a half a second lead over David Farmer, and he looks Cossack's about 6.4 seconds back, and then Cunningham 10.7 seconds back. So those guys are going to have to figure something out. Luckily, they have this stage to readjust, try to find that little extra if they can find it. But Alex Penn going to win the stage. Doesn't give him anything, but some confidence going forward. And caution does come out. And we go to our stage break. All right, let's see if Alex is going to go around this time. If not, we'll pull him in here and talk to him before he makes his pit stop. I don't know if the pit lane will be open just yet. I don't want to mess him up. we'll wait, let them communicate what they need to do, and we'll get him once pit stops are done. So Alex Penn takes the stage breaks to get caught up to the pace car here. And like I said, if you're Michael Kostick, this is what you've been waiting for. He's able to keep tabs on these guys, but you wonder what his thoughts were, considering if we had run the full length, like a full fuel run. I wonder if he'd have been okay. But considering they split the stage in twos, that I think that they may have been a little bit too conservative, JC Motorsports. So we'll see if they change that going forward. Here we go, pit stops. This could be a big thing. I mean, if Kostick can get a good stop here, maybe jump ahead of these guys, but he's really not that close to David Farmer as they come down pit road. So it'll be between Alex Penn and Farmer as they come off of pit road. Who can get the lead? I think that'll be really important here. Well, I mean, this 21 race season is now coming down to just about 115 laps or so once we go back green. Been an incredible season. Would have loved to broadcast more of the races, but we had something already scheduled during the time. You see David Farmer almost tries to get out there and get ahead of Alex Penn, not quite able to do it. And these guys all come out basically where they went down pit road. Michael Cole is currently showing as your leader because he has not come down pit road just yet. Should come down this time, though. Can't imagine he would stay out there. That'd probably be a bad idea with just got 40 laps on this stint, so you'd only have 20 laps of fuel. So let's talk to Michael Kostick. I don't know how much he's wanting to talk right now, but we'll grab him. Anyway, we'll try not to keep him too long. Michael, we've been talking to all Final Four. We couldn't get you in before the race went green, but that first run there, it seemed like the front two kind of got away from you. Were you expecting to run them down towards the end of that stint, or were you surprised about how you weren't able to really run them guys down?
Not really surprised. They've been pretty quick through the practice. I haven't had any time to really run any long runs, so I was just trying to learn some things there that first run, but I don't know what they're doing different, but I need to figure out how to be faster for sure.
Well, you do have this stage break, and you'll have an opportunity to get it right. So, looking pretty good. I mean, what kind of changes are you feeling like you need to make to keep up with them here?
Just really probably stop overdriving. I think that's where I'm losing all my speed at. So just take it a little easier and see what happens.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there.
All right, thanks.
All right, Michael Kostick. I mean, calm as ever. So he doesn't sound panicked, and he's got a lot of opportunity. And with 115 laps to go, and split it up into two stops here, I think. So gonna have 2 green flags, pit stop unless we have a caution to run this thing out. The base car gonna pull off. Alex Penn gonna lead us down to the green flag as he gets a great jump on that restart. And the battle is going to be back here for a 4th spot as Kostick looks to the inside of Scott Fritz. It seemed like we're right to where we started at the beginning of the race with Scott Fritz in that 3rd position. Kostick would love if Scott Fritz would get up there and yoink around with some of these guys. Here comes Tony Iverson with a big run down the back straightaway. Look down to the inside of the 8. The 8 kind of blocks it off as he wants to get up there and maintain. This is where we're getting into the business end of this deal. The stage break, everybody kind of needed to kind of just position himself, try some different things. But now you have got to say, okay, this is what I feel like is the best option for me. Now I've got to do that and commit to my strategy because you're just not going to have any more opportunities after this. Cautions, and we've seen a couple guys get really loose, so it is possible. Yeah, I mean, I think now is when it gets real serious. Right now, though, Scott Fritz getting up there, battling hard. You can see David Farmer and Alex Penn really taking it easy here on the start, as Scott Fritz has been able to go up there, and he is running about 2 tenths faster than Alex Penn and David Farmer, and those guys obviously running off the pace on purpose. So, you know, they can run about 60 laps on fuel, 55, 60 laps. I wonder if they're not trying to make it on one more stop. So if you can run 55, I mean, that's 110 laps, and we're right at that. So if you can save a little bit of fuel, you can run it on one more stop. So I wonder, with the fact that Scott Fritz was able to go up there, and I mean, they are running 2/10 off the pace. Let's go on board with them. We can figure out what they're doing. You know, tire fall off is pretty big here, but I still think one stop strategy is a pretty good call here. Now, everybody may be able to make it. If 55 is like the bare minimum, 60 is, you know, if you kind of save a little bit, then they can definitely make it on fuel with just one more stop. But I don't hear any clutching or anything, so it may just, they feel like they want to save a little bit, make sure they can make it. You want to be able to make it a little bit over that 60 lap mark if you can. Give yourself plenty of gas, especially for like a green-white checkered situation. But man, look at Tony Iverson. He ain't playing around. He's coming here to race. He ain't saving no gas. Down on the inside of Caustic. Caustic would love to not have to battle Iverson here. And you see Caustic really working that top side, trying to maintain. And he doesn't want to overdrive the car. He doesn't want to push too hard here. Trying to hold off that 24 machine, but he's kind of stuck in this battle that he's got to hope that Tony has a little bit of slip up. And now Caustic going to use the top side there, and I think he's going to be able to clear him. He does. And it looks like Daniel Cunningham going to get beside him as well. So using that high side to make some ground up, hold on to that spot. So your final four running 2, 3, 4, and 6. Tony Iverson sandwich in the middle, as Vince Welch might say. But Scott Fritz is your leader out front by half a second, and that continues to grow as these guys are. And no offense, as Tony Iverson got really high off the corner there. It's going to go down to the inside of Michael Caustic again. Oh, my goodness. Pulls up in front of Caustic, and Caustic, I don't know who, Caustic, what did I say? And then Tony gets a little bit out of shape himself, so they're going to lose a lot of time there. Caustic going to get frustrated here for too long. It's like either pass me and go on, or get out of the way. It's kind of what you feel like, if you're Caustic or Cunningham. Now, Tony Iverson don't feel that way. He's like, I'm up here battling. I don't care if y'all race for a championship. I'm up here trying to race for a win. If I can get up here and have some fun, that's what I'm here to do. I paid to race here. I'm here to race. And you know what? Both are right. That's a beautiful thing about racing. And that's why them guys get on the radio. That's why Ryan Blaney gets on the radio and just cursing out Ross Chastain. Because he is frustrated, and Chastain's like, I don't give a damn what he says. I'm here to race. And that's why we love it. And I'll tell you who's loving this is Alex Penn and David Farmer. They are just going to be able to pull away as Iverson is really slowing these guys up at the moment. You see it's just sort of everybody in a cluster here trying to get around this 24 machine. Oh, my goodness, it makes a little bit of contact there. And, it goes up the track. Now coming back down the track. 3 wide on the straightaway as Iverson makes a little bit of contact. The 08 does. And he's lost a bumper. He does not have a bumper on that 24 machine. We almost saw a caution here. Caustic able to get through. Now Cunningham trying to get around this 24 machine. You can see there, I don't know, that car might drive better, that 24 machine, without that bumper. I don't know. It seems like it's already loose enough as it is. I think that would probably just make that situation worse. But, yeah, I mean, just ripped his bumper off. And that really hurt Caustic. I mean, well, I don't know. Caustic's only about 0.8 of a second back. And the guys in front of him are definitely saving as Iverson gives the 08 a bump. And now Sean Kaiser goes down to the inside. So there's some drama going on here. Just 9 drivers in the field. And, I mean, Iverson. Oh, and they wreck. There's a wreck. The championship driver goes around. Cunningham goes around. So does Barrett Morton. And caution is out on lap 97. And that was all boiling over there. We saw that happening. We'll go back here in a replay and check it out. And you see Iverson all over the back bumper. We'll see what happened here. Oh, he's gonna right hook the 9 into the 08. Wow, I cannot believe that. I mean, that is a playoff driver as Barrett kind of slides up the track, and Tony Iverson. I mean, honestly, if you're Iverson, you got to be thinking maybe I should lift here and not just hold my ground. But I mean, he's been kind of bullied there for the last couple laps. He felt like. And I don't think he was willing to give that spot up. And, I mean, that was just disaster for those drivers. And, wow, I mean, look at that. That is crazy. You see Barrett Morton there where this all started. Just gets right into Iverson. I mean, I don't know what Iverson was supposed to do there. As Barrett did come up the track and just started a chain reaction that took out a playoff driver. So now Cunningham is going to have to come down pit road along with everybody else. Man, crazy turn of events there. They come down pit road. Cunningham going to have to spend quite a bit of time down here getting that damage fixed. I mean, he had quite a bit of damage there. But that is not what the 08 needed to see. Is he going to be able to get that damage fixed? That's sort of the question here. It didn't look too bad. We'll find out right here as they have caught up to the, after all of them made their pit stop, they're now coming around pit road. Daniel Cunningham still sitting here. See if he can beat the pace car off. After about a minute of repairs, he comes out. You can still see some damage on there. I mean, they won't be able to fix everything, but if you can get all of your optionals, you know, if you have required repairs, like damage that you're required to fix, you have to wait that out. So he doesn't have any required repair as far as we know. How much optional he has, we'll find out here if he comes back down pit road, try to get the rest of that fixed. He needs to get as much as he can before the end of this caution period, because it's likely he's not going to have another opportunity. You'll see if he does. No, he's going to keep going around. So he might have been able to get that thing, all the optional fixed. And if you get all the optional damage fixed, it's usually, you're usually pretty close to what you need to be. It doesn't always fix everything, but you'll be pretty darn close. So a wild turn of events. Only 9 cars, and you see 3 of them. They were really racing hard. And, you know, kind of felt like that might happen as they were really not really cutting each other any breaks there. And just they all came together there off of turn 4. Well, Cunningham not coming down pit road, so that tells me that he only had about a minute of optionals, or he definitely would have come down pit road this time by, I think. Unless pit road was closed, I don't know, but maybe that 08 has gotten enough damage fixed he can get back going. So I mean some drama here in the Xfinity Championship race. Well, we are halfway done now. The fuel situation not really a factor as they all come down right now, and it is definitely a one-stop race from here on out. So we don't have to worry about that. So we'll see if Alex Penn, David Farmer continue to take it easy like they were, or if they're going to kind of hammer down like they did in the first stage. And then the big question is, how bad is the damage to that 08 machine? That's the I think that's the biggest question of them all. He hasn't had the fastest car all night. That's definitely not going to help. You know, back in the day, COT was the main car. There was a guy in one of the Pro Series races who had some damage. His car was actually faster. So we'll see if that plays out. I doubt it. But never know what can happen. Pace car pulls off, getting ready to go green. 100 laps to go. We just did 100 laps. Going to do it again. Scott Fritz gets a pretty good restart, but David Farmer already starting to put a little pressure here on the 01. A little bit different feel on this restart, so it definitely seems like the Cornerstone Motorsports guys were doing a little bit of fuel saving, as here comes David Farmer down to the inside to try to take the lead away from Scott Fritz. Scott going to drive down on his door and tell him good luck, like Liam Neeson. Farmer holds on to that bottom, does a little bit of side draft, pulls the 01 back before the entry of turn 3 and 4, drives it in. Oh boy, not gonna. He does clear him, but Scott Fritz going to do the old switcheroo. But I think Farmer going to have the momentum he needs. And Michael Kostick, while all that was going on, was able to pass Alex Penn. So yeah, I mean we're seeing what guys got right now. They ain't playing around. There's no. I mean you're basically running a 50 lap stint here. I think that will be the call. So Kostick now up into third position. This is as high as he's been all race long. Does he have enough to get up there and challenge for the lead? Farmer would like to get away, but Scott Fritz is continuing to put pressure on him. And we're seeing non-playoff drivers be a factor in this race, and I love that. I think that's a great thing. I mean, right now, honestly, Scott Fritz is just trying to keep David Farmer honest and not just giving him the ability to run off with this thing. You know, Farmer wants to take it easy, save those tires, but Fritz not interested in that at all. As he is doing all kinds of moves, trying to take over this top spot. Gets a good run off of 2, side by side, going down into 3 and 4. And David going to have to fight on the outside again to hold him off. I mean, what do you do for Kostick? Kostick, you want to get up here and battle and try to get a couple spots, a twofer, if you can. But it's almost better just sit there and watch these guys battle it out, let Farmer burn his stuff up. At the moment, you know, at one point you think maybe Farmer says, hey, let me back out of it a little bit. I am pushing this car a little bit too hard, but doesn't seem to be on his agenda at the moment. And what a great battle here. Scott Fritz now going to take over the top spot, going to slide up a little bit. We'll see if Farmer goes back to the inside for the old switcheroo. No, he's right there on the back bumper, going to jump up to the outside, and woo, Scott Fritz that throws a little block there as Farmer was trying to get to the outside. We've seen him do that move a couple times tonight. If you can get to the outside, you can really make it easy on yourself. But Farmer not going to have clean air on the front of that 84 machine. It's going to make it really tough. And it almost equalizes the field. Now, Cunningham really struggling at the moment. He is well off the pace, so I don't know if he was able to get his damage fixed. As he's running back here in the 7th position. So, unfortunately, it seems like he is off the pace enough with that damage. He's not able to keep up with the top 3 drivers. So already a big change in the championship. I mean, with that wreck involving the 08 the 31 and the 24, just a sort of a race-changing wreck. I mean, it took away the fuel strategy that I think David Farmer and Alex Penn were going for, and allowed Michael Costa to come down pit road and on a restart take that spot away from Alex Penn. We talked a little bit there on that stage break to Kostick, and he talked about not overdriving the car, but I mean he's got the ability now to take control of this championship. He's running down David Farmer here. Kostick right on the back bumper of this 84's. The 84 is just getting dirty air dumped on him, and he's had to fight here the last few laps, trying to hold on to that lead. So this whole sequence, I think, has been a big win for the 8th. He's just got to be able to capitalize and keep Farmer in his sights, not burn his stuff up. If he can get around Farmer and set sail, and we don't have a caution, how will the 84's tires hold up here on a long run? Now, so far, we've only run 40 laps on a set of tires. These guys are going to have to go to 50 at least. I think you got to. I don't think you got a choice. So you're going to have to go further than you have gone all race long, 50 laps. We see Alex Penn dropping back just a little bit. You wonder if he knows that and is trying to make sure that he has got the best tires at the end of this run. We saw him and David Farmer battling it out at the end of the stage, and actually he pulled away. But Scott Fritz leads this thing right now on lap 111 of 200, and it's actually going by pretty quick. I don't know how long I expected this race to go, but even with that caution and the stage break, I mean, this thing is going to be over quickly. And I'm just watching to see the lap times, and I'll try to give you lap times as I see them, just so you know where everybody's at. I wish I could show you lap times. Maybe something we can work with our overlay, get done, but at the current moment we can't show you lap times, but I can tell them to you. Crossing the line, Scott Fritz 34.0, David Farmer 34.1, Michael Kostick 34.144, and Alex Penn 153. So Farmer about half a tenth faster than the other two playoff drivers. But Scott Fritz, with that clean air, that car seems to be hooked up really nice at the moment. Only 15 laps into this stint, though. I would imagine how hard he was driving. I think he's going to come back to these guys pretty quickly. Yeah, that time by David Farmer, about a tenth faster than Scott Fritz. He starts to put the pressure on him again. Just watching how the switch got turned on for David Farmer the last couple laps, man, he has really started to improve in the middle of the corner, and that's where those tire advantage really shows itself at tracks like this. You can see right in the middle, right there. Look how much time that Farmer makes up on Scott. He actually got a little aggressive. He's going to go a little wide on the exit, but you could definitely see that Farmer was really taking care of those tires where Scott Fritz pushing them a little bit maybe too hard. Look how much he's able to close up to him in the middle of the corner. Scott can really try to defend the bottom, but we've seen Farmer go out to the outside. I know Cole, he's always goes to the outside, and I think he'll try to set him up, go to the outside of him, make that pass, and probably sell off into the sunset. So before that happens, if you're Kostick, better dig down deep, find something, and get up there close by so you can follow suit and keep that 84 in your sights before he's gone. And we've seen it all season long, and once that happens, it is very, very difficult to make that time up on him. So he's really putting pressure here on Scott. See, he actually had a little bit extra pedal there. I don't know if you could hear the lift, as it felt like he got on the gas a little bit more, he would run into the back of the 01. He's trying to time that throttle when he gets back on the throttle where he is able to get the run. He's got the run right here. Is he going to take a shot down to the inside? Nope. Not close enough just yet for him to make that call. He's going to hold off, but he's trying to time that run to where he gets the max speed off the corner. But if he has to lift, he just hurts his run down the straightaway, though. He's going to look down to the inside here on the back straightaway. Does he have the position? He does. Is Scott Fritz going to be able to hold him off? We've seen Scott work that top side and be really strong up there. This time, doesn't look that good. It looks like through the middle off, he really struggled to get the power down. And David Farmer takes over the lead here on lap 119. Scott Fritz are going to battle back. Drives it deep into the corner on the outside. He's been practicing that. Can he make it work? Got it wound up. We'll see the speed that he has going down the back straightaway, excuse me. And he does have the inside position, so he's going to fight back with that run in turn 1 and 2. I think David maybe was going to try the switcheroo, but he decides to go ahead and work the top side. And Scott Fritz, Michael Kossik's best friend at the moment. Well, this is great racing right here. I mean, you think only 7, 8 cars on the track, that this would be a boring race, but it has been everything but a boring race. It's been exciting as David uses the top side of 1 and 2, just like Scott Fritz did last lap, and retakes the lead, hangs on to it. And now Scott likely going to be in trouble here as Farmer getting that clean air. See what he can do with it. I'm just interested to see what Kostik and Penn are going to do here on this long run. They have not had to do what Farmer has had to do with Scott Fritz. Now, will Fritz race Kostik and Penn the same as if he starts to fall back? Yeah, I would imagine so, but we'll see what they can do with it. As Farmer pushed that car a little bit too hard. I mean, he still has about 30 laps into this little run here. He's got to make these tires last, but, I mean, currently Michael Kostik, the only one close in times at the moment, running 34.6s. Kostik going to lose a little bit of time here as he starts to run down Fritz, who's obviously starting to fade back just a tad. So Kostik's number one goal is to get around Scott Fritz as fast as he possibly can if he's going to have a hope of keeping up with the 84 at the moment. Alex Penn's about another 7/10 back to Michael Kostik, so that dirty air has been a factor for the 30 machine. And he continues to lose pace. 1.5 seconds off the lead is Scott Fritz way up the track again, trying to make that top side work. Well, I think if you're Cunningham fans, unfortunately, after that wreck, it has pretty much done him in. You can see the damage on the left side of that car. I don't know if he was able to fix all of the damage. It looks like not, because he is well off the pace of what he was running earlier. Now 11 seconds back from the lead in 7th position. So it looks like, with no fast repair, you just can't afford to have those type of mistakes. Which it really didn't have much to do with him, but what's he gonna do? Gonna back out of that, lose 2 spots? I don't blame him for fighting hard for those positions. But after that contact, you can still see that the left side is really crinkled up there, and obviously it's causing some sort of aero or mechanical damage. And so looks like Daniel Cunningham's night, unless the top 3 get up there and wreck each other, which is why if you're the 08, don't quit. You can't quit right now. You still got the opportunity to win this thing. It's a definite lightning strike, a lottery winning situation. But you got to stay in it. You can't quit and run this thing to the end. Right now, though, really struggling with the handling of this car up front. Scott Fritz has started to run down David Farmer again. Scott's been using that top side and making good use of it. You see he's way up against the wall again. I was really expecting Caustic and Penn to start to make up some ground here in the last 10 laps or so, but they just haven't been able to do it. I mean, Scott Fritz is about the only one that's been able to, so you're surprised to see that maybe Caustic and Penn haven't jumped up to the outside, try to make that outside work like Fritz is. And just look at him. Seems like 1 and 2, that top side is really good if you can get the power down and keep it. He doesn't look too loose off the corner, and look at the momentum he's able to get down the back straightaway. I mean, that's good for, that's half, at least a half a tenth, at least, or maybe a tenth. He's able to make up on the 84. Now, he really struggles here in 3 and 4. He set that steering wheel all the way to the right. I mean, he's going to lose a ton of time there. All that he gained by just running behind the 84. But 1 and 2, I mean, he's able to make up a ton of time. Look at him. One and 2 is a lot tighter on the bottom than 3 and 4 is. 3 and 4 really unloads the car a little bit better on the bottom, which is why you haven't seen anybody run up there. But 1 and 2, it gets really tight on entry, and that's why that top side is working really good. You see Scott, though, getting loose off the turn 4. And the top 4 running very similar lap times. Last time by, they were all within half a tenth of each other. So all running about equally. And Scott Fritz improved this lap. I think he's going to be a little bit faster than Farmer. It seems like when he gets close to Farmer in 3 and 4, that's where it starts to really hurt him. Yeah, he was. He was about a tenth faster than Farmer was, along with Michael Kostick. Start to see where that top side starts to hinder you a little bit, as he is getting really loose from center off. Back here for third, you got Kostick and Penn. Penn has started to work Kostick over just a little bit. Kostick was faster last lap, but Penn made a huge leap as Kostick had a terrible lap, almost 2 tenths off of the pace of the other two. He had just a bad lap, and gonna enter in high, kind of give Penn the bottom. You know, you just wonder. I mean, Scott Fritz has really made that top side work. I'm surprised to see others haven't tried it. I mean, someone like Kostick or even Penn try to do something with that top side, but right now Kostick and Penn battling it out. This is for third position and second in the championship, and Penn takes that spot as Kostick going to fall back to the 4th spot. See Penn using that top side like Scott Fritz, so I think Penn may see what Fritz is doing. And Penn's going to have to do whatever he can do to catch that 84 and keep him in sight. They got a pit stop still left to be made in about 17 laps, I would imagine. We'll see if some people go a little bit longer. But, man, with the way the tire is, I really – and you know, we had that one caution, but I just don't think we're going to have that again, as everybody's really spread out for the most part. I think you got to come in as soon as possible. I think if you – want to win this race, you're going to have to come in early. And if I'm David Farmer, I'm going to come down pit road right at lap 50, 150, and then and sail to victory, I would imagine. At this point, he looks like he is in great shape to hang on to this thing, but still a long way to go. And right now, Alex Penn slightly faster every single lap, and that will add up over time. Alex just needs to push as hard as he can for the next 15 laps for the pit stop. I mean, you can't take any of these tires with you, so you might as well burn them down to the ground if you got a little extra that you saved, and it looks like he has, as he's now got a 1 second lead over Caustic, who is starting to fall off quite a bit. So this race is not over. I think, JC Motorsports starting to look a little grim, but Alex Penn looks like he has got some more fight in him, as he is about a 10th faster than both Scott Fritz and David Farmer last lap. And he is hunting them down pretty quick, as Scott Fritz is in the wall. Alex right to the back bumper. Going to drive down to the inside. Definitely a little bit faster. Let's see if he can make the pass. If he can do it quickly, that would be preferable for the 30. Let's see if he can slide up in front of him. He does. Easy. Didn't even have to breathe or think about it there. He just went up there and took it. So now Alex Penn up to second, 1 second off of David Farmer, and Alex Penn is faster every single lap. And at this point in the race, Alex Penn is in the best position. If he can continue, wow, and he ran a 34.8. That was 0.4 of a second faster than David Farmer last time. I mean, he really hung it out there, running that top side in 1 and 2. Started to get a little bit loose, though. I wonder if that made him nervous. But at this point in the race, I mean, Alex Penn is in the best spot. It feels like he's moving forward. He's actually catching David Farmer. You want to be on that. You want the inertia to be moving forward at this point because you still have to make a pit stop. And there's no caution to save you. There's no stage break to help you out. So if you're falling back like Caustic is, there's really not much you can do. You can come down pit road early and try to, undercut, but at this point, it's not going to do you any good. So you wonder if somebody like Caustic doesn't try to run it longer, hope for a caution, that try to play a little strategy. But short pitting, that just wouldn't help you, I don't think. I think Caustic's too far back. Short pitting would only give you a couple laps out ahead of them, and the tire difference would be just too much. So, Alex Penn, who is moving forward, I think that's where you want to be. And if you can get to Farmer and pass him before y'all come down pit road, that'll be preferable. But still, I mean, they have shown to have pretty similar pace all race long. So, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly what the conversation is like in the channel because, I've been in these situations before with teammates, and you feel like it's just between you and them. And this is what you've been planning for all season long. If you're a team, you want to get to the championship 4 and then battle it out amongst yourself. And they've gotten to that point now. This is where they are. And so I would imagine that conversations as far as what I'm doing, what you're doing, start to fade. And you stop talking about those things. Stop talking about, oh, I'm loose or I'm tight. Or, you stop giving out hints that's going to help the other person beat you. As Caustic now about 3 seconds back off the lead. Now it's just between you and him. So I feel like the chat's got to be pretty quiet at the moment, as Farmer definitely can see that Penn has run him down. It's faster. And it's interesting to see that the Farmer hasn't jumped up there to that top line in 1 and 2. We saw him practicing that during practice and has yet to utilize it other than to make passes. So, with a couple of these drivers being able to run him down and even pass him on the outside, surprised he hasn't jumped up there and tried to do something with it, especially block the 30 here. He's been able to get some massive runs off the top side of 1 and 2. And he does it this time. Yeah. I was wondering if he was ever going to start doing that. Is he's going to make Alex go down to the inside, and the problem is it's so tough to run down off the top side, I think. But Alex did a great job there, kept the tires under him. Farmer really going to have to lay one down here in 3 and 4. We've seen 3 and 4 the top side not be that good. He's going to have to get off of this corner, get a good run, and try to maintain into 1 and 2 where it seems to be the fastest. He does hold him off there as they cross the start-finish line for lap 144. So, I mean, he went up there, and I don't know, maybe he didn't feel like it was where he wanted to run. I'm not sure, but you're going to see Alex Penn get a massive run here. And obviously goes down to the inside. 30, relentless here late in this race. 144 laps, and I think he might be able to clear him here off of 4. Does he clear him? Not going to do it. Oh, a little bit of wiggle from the 30, and that's going to allow the 84 to get the momentum into the corner, and we'll see what the 84 can do up on the outside. You see the momentum from the top side. If you're not able to do a good job on the bottom in 1 and 2, you see the difference. Now Farmer sort of using the top side in both corners. I think he waited until Alex Penn was going to get to his bumper and then decided it's time for me to jump up to the top side and do a little defensive line as we have about 5 laps until pit stop start for this final little stage. Not a stage, but the final fuel run or tire run. Scott Fritz and Tony Iverson have come down pit road. Will stay here on the lead, but a couple drivers already making their stops. I think it's a little bit too early. I don't think I'm coming in just yet. I think I'm waiting until lap 50. I don't want to push these tires too hard. Like I said, I think if you're caustic, you can't hit early and hope to be able to do anything with it. I think you got to go a little bit longer and hope that they have some sort of issues. So I don't know. I don't know the right way to play in this strategy. I think if I have my choice, I'm going to be I'd like to be wherever David Farmer is or Alex Penn. Barrett Morton there on the apron letting the leaders by as he has come out of pit road after 30 minutes of repairing that 31 machine. They continue to race it out as Farmer has done a bang-up job of trying to hold off this 30 machine. Alex just not able to do it here with 50-lap-old tires. He's getting a great run off of 2, but just not able to do anything with it. You see, he loses a little bit of momentum there as he gets a little bit loose. I mean, just not enough momentum. If Farmer can get a good 3 and 4 on the top side, there's no way that Penn's getting around him. It's like Farmer did struggle in the middle there, but you still see the run that he gets off the top side. Alex just not able to do much with it. And these guys putting on a show for this championship. 50 laps to go in this thing. When they gonna come down pit road? That's the question I have. Looks like they might be. Well, David Farmer is. I thought it seemed like Alex Penn was slowing down, and oh, I don't know. Holy moly. David Farmer came in really, really hot. I'm not sure if he made it down to pit road speed. I think he just made it. It was super close. I mean, he had about 20 feet left to the line and was doing 70 miles an hour. So hopefully he was able to get down to pit road speed. If not, that is going to be a race ender for him. We'll see if Alex Penn now going to come down pit road. He is. Checking up here, going to give up the lead. Not really. Looks like everybody else has come down pit road. Can he get down to pit road speed? He does easily. David Farmer, no penalty. He comes out of pit road. He will have about half a lap of advantage on these tires. Should come out with the lead. We'll see how the pit stop goes for Alex Penn, who's currently trying to get down into his stall. You don't want to slide. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong here. He's got that first stall. Want to get in there really easy like he did. You don't want to slide through. Don't want to lock them up, especially on those old tires. Get those 4 tires and fuel and get out of there. David Farmer, a 14.4 in his box. We'll see what Alex Penn about the same, but he was a little bit better. Farmer was getting on pit road, and you're going to see the difference here is now it's a second and a half. Just that one extra lap on those tires, and even Michael Kostick is going to take over third spot from Alex Penn, and Alex Penn had a great pit road, a decent pit stop, but Michael Kostick, incredible getting on and off pit road, and actually had a really, really good stop. One of the best stops we've seen all night long, about half a second faster than both Farmer and Penn. So he has now positioned himself in between. Now he did come down pit road a couple laps earlier too, so there's that. But he still had a really good stop. Man. I can't believe this thing is almost over, and it's going to go by quick as we're coming to about 46 laps to go when Scott Fritz crosses the line, as he pitted 8 laps ago, so he has made his stop, but did a little undercut on David Farmer. Got about 3 seconds on him. But see how long that lasts. Here's your battle. Another championship 2 fighting it out right here. Alex Penn to the inside. I think Kostick going to fight hard. But it just seems like Kostick doesn't have the pace that the 30 does, and Penn has the position, doesn't give him the bottom. And Alex Penn takes over the 3rd spot and 2nd in the championship. And he has got about 3 seconds to run down David Farmer, and he's got to do it in 45 laps. Can he get it done? That is a lot to ask. And he's only got 1 lap fresher tires than David Farmer. I'm really impressed with Farmer. I think that 1 lap made all that difference. That's impressive. That's really crazy. I mean, David Farmer was about 2/10 better on pit lane, so I'm not really sure. I just think at the end of that run, they were so far off the pace that that 1 lap made all the difference. I think Alex needed to be a little bit more aware of that and try to come down at the same time. But, I mean, this is it. This is the run to the championship right here, 43 laps to go. And Scott Fritz out front, but the battle is going to be between Farmer and Penn as we get down to the end of this thing. Well, while we got a little bit of a lull here, we'll keep tabs of the championship battle, of course. See if Penn can get up there and take that spot from Farmer, or Farmer's going to go and win this championship. But let's take a little commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll call the end of this thing. Be right back.
If you like racing, you'll love Stock Car Racing Magazine. Every month, Stock Car Racing Magazine brings you racing's most colorful pictures and stories, insiders columns, technical features, personalities, the drama and the humor of America's fastest sport. Stock Car Racing with this special TV offer, a full year, only $15.95, almost 50% off the newsstand price. MasterCard or Visa, call 1-800-441-3636 to order, at almost 50% off. 1-800-441-3636.
When I just started out, I used to come down here. It's what they call the short track. It's kind of like the minor leagues in baseball. I couldn't afford to have any engine trouble back then, So I put my money down on Valvoline racing oil. These days, Valvoline gives me money to use their motor oil. Maybe they don't realize I'd be using it anyway. Let's let that be our little secret.
Valvoline. Motor oil is not just motor oil.
SS of NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt uses just one make of tire, the Goodyear Racing Eagle. And every Monte Carlo SS leaves Chevrolet with just one make of tire, the Goodyear Eagle GT Street Radial. Not by coincidence, because Goodyear makes better high-performance tires for the track and for the street. Goodyear Eagles, they'll take you home the quick way or to the winner's circle. Goodyear, take me home.
It's the real action, the pro action, NFL action with the VCR quarterback game, NBA action with the VCR basketball game, NHL hockey action with the VCR hockey game. Hundreds of plays, hours of action. The VCR board game's officially licensed by the leagues themselves. Pick your sport, play with the pros. It's a new ball game every time you play. Your favorite sport is always in season at your VCR Sports Center. Is at a store near you.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a quest for speed. It's a measure of skill, a test of guts. And though NASCAR has changed through the decades, its spirit never will. It's not just the machine, it's the man who drives it. We're proud to be a part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
You won't believe what's happening inside your muffler. Rust that starts on the inside is eating its way through. The Napa Advantage muffler with Absorbite helps prevent internal rust. The inside of this muffler was not protected with Absorbite. This muffler was. You can see the difference. The Napa Advantage is even covered by a lifetime warranty. Of course, you may never have to use it. The Napa Advantage. It puts rust at a disadvantage. Available at thousands of Napa outlets.
Well, all right. Well, that was a fun little deal. And up front, it is David Farmer. He takes over the lead of the race as we get over some fun commercials, have a good time. Hopefully, bring back some memories if you're a little bit older. But David Farmer right now is out to a championship-style lead. He's got Fritz on the back burner, going to be hopefully pulling away from him. He's been able to run him down over the last few laps. And then, yeah, I mean, just really impressive. I mean, I got to say, I expected Alex Penn to do a little bit more there, but just based on that pit stop alone, the call to come down one lap earlier, that seems to have been what he needed to do. That gap has not changed. It is right around 3 seconds for Alex Penn. He's going to have to really try hard to run him down. I just don't know. Maybe without a caution, it's going to be really tough. But Alex has been able to do it, and I think the bait for Alex, and he may know this, and he may be doing a great job. The bait is to try to push hard to run him down. I think you ran down David on the long run on that last run. I think you got to trust in the process and trust what you're doing and hope that that's good enough to do it again. He was right there on this back bumper and ready to strike. So it's not over at all. I think if you're Alex, you got to be patient. These are really long laps, even though we don't have 33 laps to go. Yeah, I mean, I think you really got to pace yourself here if you're going to run down Farmer. Well, you know what? While we do have a little bit of time, let's go down to pit road, and we're going to talk to Dick Bergeron, and he's got a little information for us.
Passenger car engine's oil is circulated by a pump that's buried deep inside the motor. All professional race cars, however, use an externally mounted oil pump like this one. And these pumps have a lot of neat features to them, one of which is the oil pressure can actually be adjusted outside the engine. But they also have some liabilities, the most serious of which is if this belt breaks, that's the end of oil pressure, and that's the end of the race.
Well, all right, thanks, Dick. That's good information. We'll keep up with that. That gap is now to 2.8 seconds. Alex Penn has reeled him in just a little bit. But right now, everything is pretty much spread out. The gap, you see there on the side of your screen, that kind of tells you where everybody's at in relation to the leader. And everybody kind of spread out. I mean, I think right now the difference between first and third is sort of what we're paying attention to here as we get down towards the end of this thing. Last lap by, Alex Penn, 0.2 of a second faster than David Farmer. So he is definitely picking up the pace. You know, a little bit of cat and mouse stuff goes on in these type of deals where, you know, Farmer lets off a little bit, coasts a little bit, takes it easy, saves his tires a little bit, trying to lure Alex Penn into pushing his stuff. He starts seeing that interval go down. Alex Penn starts pushing that throttle just a little bit harder, pushing that car, trying to get up there as soon as he possibly can. Of course, Alex can also play that cat and mouse game where he, you know, is also saving his stuff, and David Farmer backs up to him, and then Alex has got enough to get around him. So it is a definite strategy game here where they're trying to manage the gap. Right now, Alex Penn going to have to deal with Scott Fritz, going to have to get him around him pretty quickly. He does not want to waste time trying to fight with Fritz here. And there he goes. Alex Penn didn't have to take much time at all as he goes right around Scott Fritz. And now sets his sights on the 84, and he's got plenty of time, 25 laps. And let's say he does a 10th a lap. That is all he needs to do to get this thing done. So, I mean, I got to say, man, I'm actually impressed. I think Alex Penn can actually pull this off. I mean, he's a 10th faster that time, 25 laps to go. And if he could do that every single lap, and there was a couple times he was a couple tenths faster, he just can't make any mistakes going forward here. That time by, David Farmer draws even. And so Alex gonna have to find that little bit of extra. I'm just so surprised that Farmer was able to get out so far ahead. I mean, that is definitely, you know, if we're gonna have a winning moment, that is gonna be it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, we're waiting on tire plateaus. You know I talk about it a lot, but it's true. It's how it works. If I could draw you a picture, which I'm not going to do that. If it was any other broadcast except for a championship broadcast of a league, I would pull out Microsoft Paint and I would draw you what I mean. But, there's a tire, degradation plateau where you run the same lap times for about 7 laps or 10 laps, and then it just drops off. You lose about 3 or 4 tenths in 1 lap as it drops down to the next plateau, and then it goes for another 5 to 10 laps. Then you drop down again, and it just keeps doing that until it completely levels off at the end of a fuel run. And so, I mean, Alex has just got to be patient and wait for those moments when David Farmer drops off a couple tenths. He's able to gain that extra bit and keep doing that to the end of this run. He just can't really make any mistakes at this point. Alex has got to be perfect. He's not able to really afford, missing a corner, not getting on the throttle at the right time, having a slow lap. He just can't do it. So if he can be perfect, he's got a shot. But I don't know. It's at 2.5 seconds right now. He's not really gained anything in the last 5 laps. He's a little bit faster. I mean, David Farmer ran 34.791, and Alex Penn ran a 34.779. That's not enough. That's not going to be enough to get it done with just 20 laps to go as they cross the line. That time by Alex Penn, a little bit faster. Oh, no, David Farmer, was a little bit faster. He was actually a tenth faster than Alex Penn that last lap, so he actually gained a little bit there. And David really starting to put the foot on the neck now at this moment as we've got 20 laps to go. Well, I got a couple more commercials. I don't know if y'all are getting tired of it or not, but I don't really have anything else to talk about. And so I think they're entertaining. I don't know. I guess y'all will let me know at the end of this race if you hated the fact that I did this. But, while we're just waiting to see what happens here, going to go back to another commercial break, and then we'll come back and give you the last 15 laps full bore.
Five-liter high-output V8, wide 15-inch rally wheels, F41 sport suspension, 4-speed automatic, the new Monte Carlo SS Fastback, a very fastback. At this price, the Camaro Sport Coupe looks good from almost any angle. But now that a multi-port fuel-injected V6 is standard, we think more people will be looking at it from this angle.
When the temperature drops below 30, remember the spark plug is tested to start below 0. Champion, we go to ridiculous extremes to test the reliability of our spark plugs.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a quest for speed. It's a measure of skill, a test of guts. And though NASCAR has changed through the decades, its spirit never will. It's not just the machine, it's the man who drives it. We're proud to be a part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
All right, well, we are back, and guess what? Alex Penn has improved that gap down to about 2.2 seconds. Is it enough? I'm not sure. 15 laps to go in the championship, and he is trying all that he can to get up there and win this championship. But right now, David Farmer has a very impressive lead. And you see Alex Penn up there on the top side trying to make it work. He did it at the end of that last run. Can he do it again with just a few laps to go? Gonna have to get around Tony Iverson. You would imagine Tony would just let him have the room, and he does off the corner. I'm not sure. No reason to fight for it right there. He's already a lap down, so he lets him go. But the gap now 2.2 seconds, and Alex Penn 0.2 of a second faster that last lap. It can happen quick. If he's able to be consistently a 10th or a 2 faster, look at that wheel. He is really working the car off the corner. You can see how just loose and uneasy it is, with the gap now back up to as David Farmer just completely follows up Alex Penn's 0.2 of a second, or 0.2 faster lap with his own. And so Alex going to lose what he gained. It comes down to this. Kostick is currently running down Scott Fritz for the 3rd position, but we're going to stay here and see if Alex Penn can make it. I mean, look at how loose he is right now. I'm not sure. He may have, we don't know. Farmer might be dealing with the same thing. Penn going to go back up to the top side in 1 and 2 again. Look, I mean, good gosh. I mean, as soon as he touches the gas, that car is trying to come around. He is working it, trying to keep the thing straight and keep his momentum up. And it's just a fine line that he's, not that I think he's going to wreck. I think that he is just dealing with that car and not being able to put the power down, so he can't keep the momentum up. I mean, he's really, seems like he's really put the pressure on those rear tires. And he continues to lose now as David Farmer is now pulling away. Battle for 3rd. We'll go back and check this out as Kostick not in, I mean, he's going to try to get around. Not quite able to get around Scott Fritz. He tried to slide up in front of him, and Scott had a big run off the corner, and Kostick really had to check up to not get into the 0-1. And Michael not really going to have a shot at the championship. He is about 7.6 seconds back, but could finish 3rd. Good way to end the season, I would imagine. Your other, unfortunately, your other championship driver who made that contact with Tony Iverson and Barrett Morton. And like I said, I don't think it was really anybody's fault. It was just a happenstance of just a small mistake. And he is back in the 8th position, multiple laps down, as he did come back down at some point and get 4 minutes of repairs done. That car just a little bit too much damage to keep up, and we just haven't had any cautions to get it done. So he is back there in the 8th spot. I think hopes were pretty slim for him to begin with, just based on raw speed. I think he would admit to that, and I think he did admit to that early when we talked to him at the beginning of the race. But Michael Kostick now going to take over the 3rd spot. A little bit of bragging rights to say, hey, I finished 3rd in the championship, but also 3rd in the race. He'll take over that spot. But man, David Farmer, man, what a hell of a race he's put on tonight. I feel like him and Alex Penn, obviously the 2 best cars. It seemed like sometimes Alex Penn a little bit better, but David hit all his marks when it counted. That last pit stop was everything. I think being able to come down pit road 1 lap sooner, and I talked a little bit about that in the middle of that little middle part of the race, where that communication between those teammates was going to go silent at some point. They were going to go radio silent. And, that strategy and stuff was, they were not going to talk about that. And I definitely think that David Farmer took him a little bit by surprise coming down pit road when he did, because it looked like Alex kind of even stuttered and thought about coming down pit road at the same time. But David coming down pit road, that one lap earlier came out with a 3-second lead, and it's now back up to right around 3 seconds. So with just 6 laps to go, he's just praying for no caution, nobody to get loose and spin out. That would change everything. There's literally, I don't know. If it's me in this situation, I don't know David personally, but I would imagine that if it were me, I'm a ball of stress. I stress about everything. I worry. I'm a worrier. And I think at this moment there would be no chill. It would be me in chat and somebody be talking about something, and I'd be like, I'd throw my headset down because they'd be talking too much. I'd be so stressed out because 5 laps to go, so much can go wrong, and you've got it in the bag, and caution could come out, change everything. And so it's not easy driving around, even with a 3-second lead. You're trying to hit your marks. You're going to make sure you don't make a mistake. You don't want to get loose and get that car out of shape where you can't catch it in one of those slides that you can't save and allow Alex to run you back down. Just you're worried, is my wheel overheating? What's your computer might make a noise. What's that noise? Just so many things you're thinking about with a championship on the line. This is a big, big race. And with 4 laps to go when he comes across the stripe, each lap that gets a little bit more and more as he gets to the white flag, he'll be able to breathe a sigh of relief. But right now, just trying to hit his marks. He continues to pull away from Alex Penn, now up to 3.3 seconds. No pressure. But like I said, there's still a lot to think about for sure. But great season all the way around. It was a lot of fun. I think this Xfinity series put on some really good racing. This car is one of the more racy cars on the service for sure. And we love this car. Every time get to drive it, get to watch it. And just happy that we were able to broadcast live the championship race as the Fast and All Winter Series kind of takes precedent because I already had them scheduled. Xfinity was only a part-time thing to hopefully get a broadcaster. Just wasn't able to lock one down. But I'm just so glad that we were able to come to some sort of agreement and get this done a week later on Monday and get to crown a champion live on air. It's a good thing, and I know that the eventual champion, whoever that will be happy to have that to go back and look at. Everybody talks about broadcasts in a weird way, like, oh, it's all narcissistic stuff because I want to see myself. Well, I mean, it's cool, man, to have things like this documented and to be able to go back and see where you won a championship. That's really cool, man. Regardless of how you feel about ego and all that kind of stuff, it's fun to go back and watch this. But David Farmer takes the white flag, final lap of the Xfinity Series here at Homestead, and we are just over 2 hours and 10 minutes. And one more turn after this is all he's got to make, and he will win the championship. Can he do it? He's got plenty of fuel. Doesn't have to worry about that. Goes down in 3 and 4, just cruising. He can slow down. Doesn't have to really try that hard. Comes off the corner, and David Farmer will come home with the win here at Homestead and is your 2023 Bluegrass Xfinity Series champion. Congratulations, David Farmer. What a race. What a, for 8 drivers on the track, 9 drivers, it was actually a pretty entertaining race. Kept me engaged the whole time for sure. And there at the end, Farmer was able to stretch his legs and came home with the win. Well, he will take the championship. the Drivers' Championship. I'm not really sure what the team championship was. I'll be surprised if somebody doesn't PM me at some point and tell me exactly what it is. I probably should know, but I don't have been following this series. So it looks like, yeah, Cornerstone was able to take the team championship and the Drivers' Championship. You see both of them down there doing donuts, celebrating their Drivers' Championship, as David Farmer is going to take that home. Alex Penn comes home in second. Let's take a look at the results. We can see it real quick, but might as well make it official. 2 cautions, one for stage, one for the incident that involved Daniel Cunningham, Tony Iverson, and Barrett Morton. But 16 lead changes. That's a lot of fun for a 9-car field. David Farmer, Alex Penn, Michael Kostick comes home in third. Scott Fritz had a really great race all race long. Sean Kaiser comes home in fifth. Tony Iverson in sixth position. Michael Cole comes home in seventh. Daniel Cunningham, a disappointing 8th position, but still a really good season for him. Coming down to run one race, it's really tough, but he's had a fantastic season. Barrett Morton comes home in the final position. Well, all right, Isaiah, man, look at him. Do a little Tokyo drift down the front stretch as they celebrate a win. Can't wait to talk to them, see what they thought about this thing. It was definitely an interesting race. I mean, just for so little drivers. I've said it a couple times now, but I'm actually just really impressed about how entertaining that whole race was. So we'll get in here, we'll talk to these drivers, and get their opinions on the race and their opinions on the championship, how the season went for them. We'll try to talk to all the Final Four if they'll stick around. I know some people who are disappointed they'll kind of bail, but we'll do the best we can to get them in here and talk to them. It looks like the first driver that we're going to talk to is Michael Kostick, so we'll get him in here in just a moment. If they jump up there or not, we'll just drag him up in here. And Michael Kostick, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I mean, I can definitely hear the disappointment in your voice. Just came up a little bit short. It's always tough in a one race takes all type deal. We've talked about that in real life, and it kind of rears its ugly head here tonight where it just seemed like David Farmer and Alex Penn just had a little bit more pace. We talked to you at the end of that stage and that caution flag about, what you could do to try to improve. You tried short pitting, and it just didn't gain you that much. Is there anything else you could have done out there to try to keep up with those guys?
I don't think so. When we went back green there after that caution, I thought I had him matched pretty good on pace, and then Farmer started pulling away. I gapped Alex a little bit, but I think he was just saving tire because he caught me and just took off. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing different, but whatever it was the right thing to do, and I wasn't able to figure it out. So, I mean, congrats to both of them. I mean, they've both been fast all season, so Farmer deserves it, and Penn's been right up there, so he deserves it too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's been a great season for you. You weren't able to get a win, but I thought you were going to have a Matt Kenseth style season.
Hey, I had a win.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, don't be taking that from me.
Well, they in the chat they posted your totals and they have you at 0 wins. So, my bad.
Bunch of haters.
Yeah, so we had the 1 win, and I mean, a really good season. I mean, talk a little bit about the season. What was some of the high points and low points for you this season? If you think back and kind of look, say what sticks out in your mind about this particular season for you?
Bunch of good runs and just pretty much learning from all these bunch of fast guys in here. So just kind of picking up little habits that they've been doing and trying to improve a little bit myself. As far as low points, just, I don't know, the whole playoffs, I've had a pretty bad string of races. So all in all, it was a good year, though. It was fun, learned a lot, had fun racing with all these guys.
Well, I mean, you came home in third in the championship, third here tonight. That's a pretty good way to finish it off. So, man, congratulations on a great season. Come up a little bit short, but I think, with how competitive this has been, a third place in the standings, got to hold your head high a little bit because it's a really competitive series. So, man, congratulations on your third place. And as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, thank you to VSRN for doing the broadcast, and V-Speed. I know Bradley's picked up some broadcast. Jason for the work he's done, all the other people who have put in the effort to improve and keep the league going. Everybody I've raced around all season, it's been fun. It's been a good year, and my teammates at JC.
All right. Well, there you have it. Michael Kostick, your third place finisher tonight, and third in the standings. And then second place in the standings and second place in the races. Alex Penn got him in the booth. Alex, man, I got a lot of questions. That was a lot of fun to watch for 9 drivers in the field. Very entertaining race. A lot to pay attention to. You and David seem to have sort of similar speed all throughout the runs. Y'all kind of went back and forth in that first stage, changed some things up, and then in that after that caution, it kind of changed up some things. But you were still right there with him battling as y'all come down pit road. What happened on that last pit stop that kind of got you behind?
So I think a big part of it was actually the weather. Dave had come off pit road with the clouds still covering the track a little bit and was able to push a little bit harder. And I was staying a little bit more patient and used my pushing towards the end of the run instead, and that kind of took a toll more on my tires than it did for him. I think there were a couple other things I could have done to maybe help myself a little bit. Like I think I moved up to the top a little bit too early. But other than that, it was a blast racing against Dave, and it was competitive all the way to the end. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, really, really fun to watch. I mean, I had no idea up until that last pit stop who was going to win the championship. I mean, you guys at Cornerstone definitely had the JC Motorsports boys covered as far as raw speed. So I knew it was going to come down to both of you, but I mean, how quiet did it get in the chat once y'all got down to the end there, and you didn't want to give out your secrets, you wanted to let it play out naturally? How quiet did it get in the chat, or were y'all still kind of hamming it up?
It was kind of a mix because I know that I was definitely focusing up a little bit more, and I think Dave was too. But we were still having a good conversation with everybody that was in there.
Well, you came home in second place in the Drivers' Championship, but as a team, you won the team championship. I mean, what does it mean to win a team championship like that, and then to come home 1-2 in the Drivers' standings? What does that say about your team?
I'm super proud of everybody who was on the team this season. That's for sure. Dave, me, Finley, who had to stop mid-season unfortunately due to school. Justin Ray, he helped out a ton. James Silvers for stepping in for Finley. I mean, we just were always at the top of the board every week, and it was just awesome to see us doing that.
Well, I mean, incredible season. I mean, quite a few wins, and you're able to come home in second in the points. So man, congratulations. I mean, I know it sucks to finish second. You want to be the champion, but it's some days it's not in this kind of format. It's not always. I think all 4 of you could probably be champion, and I think it would probably be right. So I think it could have gone the other way, and I think you would have been just as deserving. So congratulations on a great season. Congratulations on a fun race tonight. You put on a show. It's hard for a broadcaster for 200 laps with 9 drivers to make it interesting, but I think y'all helped out quite a bit to make that a lot of fun. So y'all put on a good show tonight. So congratulations on that as well. And who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
For sure. Definitely the guys over at Cornerstone for both the Cup and the Xfinity Series. I mean, to pull out the team championship in both is pretty awesome. On the cars this season, we're Aerial Professionals of Western North Carolina. Function Junction Smoke Shop, which was on the car tonight. We got a running joke where anybody who's running the Function Junction car has a little bit extra horsepower, so I definitely made sure to get that choice in early this week. GG's of Waynesville, North Carolina, Mountain View Detailing, and Waynesville Tire as well.
All right. Well, there you have it. Second place here tonight. Second place in the Drivers' Championship. Alex Penn with a great season. but he is going to fall short of your champion here tonight, and that is Dave Farmer in Discord. It's Red Rocket Dave. And tonight it looks to be the case. That 84 machine, it was extremely, extremely fast. You and both Alex Penn both kind of really set yourself apart early and often in this race. And although it seemed like you were a good bit faster, it definitely wasn't easy for you. It seemed like you were constantly having to deal with, non-playoff drivers who weren't, interested in saving their stuff. Kind of like Scott Fritz, it really kind of put pressure on you. How tough is it in these type of situations when you feel like maybe I'm the fastest driver, I've got this in the bag, but you've got these guys who obviously on a different type of strategy? How hard is it to keep calm, save that car, and not overdrive it when trying to, battle with a non-playoff driver?
Yeah, and kudos to Fritz and the other playoff drivers, everybody out there. Everybody was fast, and it was a fun race. Had a lot of the expectation of the car count made it seem like it wasn't going to be that fun of a race, but it ended up being hopefully there were some moments that were pretty good TV for everybody. I'll say that racing Scott has always been fun. Him and he's very fast, but you're right. It's hard to try to keep yourself calm and keep yourself composed in those moments, because you just got to trust that you're saving and they're not. And sometimes, like me for example, I pushed really hard to get in front of Fritz on that after that caution, after the caution after the stage caution, and burnt my front tires up, and Penn was able to come get back to me and forced me to pit a little earlier than what I wanted to, but it ended up working out. But man, it was tough. It was really tough to keep my foot out of the gas and just let the car roll and keep the tires as happy as you possibly can.
Well, Alex Penn was able to keep up at the long run of both of the runs, and we had that wreck that brought out that caution. But, I mean, you were able to keep the lead, stay up there, up towards the front, and y'all were battling it out. And then there on that last pit stop, I mean, that's the definite move of the race, be able to come down pit road a lap earlier. I talked about it on the broadcast. I know y'all are teammates, but I got to imagine at that moment there were no discussions about any kind of strategy, knowing that the race was really between you two. Were you planning on that, coming down pit road a lap earlier than him? What were your thoughts as you were getting down to knowing you're going to have to make that pit stop, and when you didn't want him to undercut you, but you were trying to figure out when you were come down pit road? Were the discussions about that in Discord, or did you kind of try to surprise him there?
So, that was obviously one of the tough things. Of course, we've been teammates all season and battled, and Cornerstone ended up won the team championship in Xfinity as well. So it's been great racing with Alex, and whenever you're racing for a championship, it changes the game a little bit. So it's definitely, you got to play a little mind games, and we were going back and forth. We really didn't discuss strategy whatsoever. I just I had Alex Healy in my ear spotting and crew chiefing for me, and kind of just decided early on that we were going to split everything in half. Whatever happens, but we're going to split it all in half and try to keep the tire advantage. So it ended up working out in that aspect for sure.
Well, were you surprised when you came out of pit road? I mean, when I go back and look at the times, I mean, you were, based on which ATVO that I'm using doesn't give exactly what goes on, because it doesn't tell you how quickly you got onto pit road and also off of pit road on the access road. But were you surprised when you came out that you had a 3-second lead? I mean, I know the tire difference was pretty big and you had that extra lap, but did you expect to have a 3-second lead when you came out?
Yeah, I didn't expect that much. I knew I would have some of the lead because the access road, getting onto pit road, one is so slow because your tires are old and you got to make sure you don't slide and spin and lose control. But also you got to, when you're exiting, it's just dead flat ground. So you got to take care, you got to be mindful of that and not lose control coming off pit road. Obviously when you're on the track, and the sooner you can get back on track, the better, because you can get up to speed and use the banking and do what you need to do. But definitely, I did not expect a 3-second. I expected probably a 1.5-second lead, but not a 3-second lead. I'm not sure if Alex had an issue or what, but or my stop was just that fast. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, definitely wasn't expecting 3-second. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, we're gonna back it down and just play defense here, and started taking care of my tires as much as I possibly could, and figuring everything out. It leads to the next thing, I guess. The the biggest thing I think that helped me was running the Cup Series championship last Wednesday. And I learned in that race that you got to take care of the back tires no matter what. The front tires matter, but they don't matter near as much as the back tires. So I ran a very forward brake bias. I had my brake bias set at 84% at this race, the beginning of it, and ended up cooking my front tires the first couple of stints, and then backed it, because you can only move it back 3% in car, but was able to help enough, I guess, to keep it going. But yeah, it was a tough one.
Well, I mean, 200 laps in the books, and you were able to get up there and get it done. And yeah, I mean, kind of caps off a pretty great season for you in the Xfinity Series. And you can now call yourself the champ over here. I don't know. Are you a beer drinking guy?
I am. It's a little late tonight. Got to be up and go to work in the morning, but I'm definitely gonna have one tomorrow.
Well, I tell you what, man, enjoy it, celebrate. I mean, you've got a lot to celebrate this season. Very successful season for you and your team. Just a great way to cap it off, and looking forward to what's next. And as always, David, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, I want to thank you for doing the broadcast, coming in and doing this for us. It's always awesome to be able to go back and rewatch the moments of the race and remember, I'd remember doing that, or whatever it may be, or catching things that you weren't able to see because of positioning, whatever that happens, going forward. But thank you for that, Eddie. We greatly appreciate it. You and Bradley both. And thank Jason for Bluegrass and all that fun stuff. And want to thank Cornerstone being part of that team this season. Thank James Silvers, Alex Penn, Justin Ray, Finley Fitzsimmons, all the guys that were part of this whole thing this whole season. I greatly appreciate it. It was so much fun to race with you guys. And last but not least, I want to thank the Cornerstone sponsors, Aerial Pros of WNC, Function Junction Smoke Shop, GG's of Waynesville, North Carolina, Mountain View Detailing, and Waynesville Tire. And special thanks to Alex Healy, my spotter, crew chief, for being in my ear for the championship and a lot of the playoff races to keep me calm, and he was a benefit to that for sure. But yeah, it was a fun race. Thank my family for allowing me to participate in my hobbies and enjoy this and go out and get a championship.
Hell yeah. Well, man, congratulations again. Awesome season. And go celebrate. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow definitely have a couple and enjoy this one.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, there you have it. We have finished an Xfinity Series, and David Farmer comes away with the championship, which is, I mean, I'll tell you what, was a pretty entertaining race for 9 drivers. They put on a show. These cars are a lot of fun. Man, but it's over. We're calling it quits. It's the end of it. And I want to thank Bluegrass. I want to thank Jason Collins and everybody that's involved, all the people that do all the work around here. That makes a big difference in how successful these things are. And I want to thank y'all for watching. Everybody that helps me, that shouts me out, all that kind of stuff. Definitely appreciate all the love. And want to thank Bradley Cooper. Want to thank Adam Baker for their work on V-Speed. Enjoyed being a part of what they have started, and glad to be helping continue to put down some really cool work, and hope that our clients are happy, and that's sort of where we are right now. We definitely appreciate all of our clients that are out there. And looking forward to continue working with y'all again. So that's it. Calling it quits. Was hoping to talk to maybe Daniel Cunningham, but it looked like he has called it quits tonight. I don't blame him one bit. But y'all have a great night. We will see y'all. As far as Bluegrass, it's over until the new season starts up. We'll be watching out in Discord for that. But tomorrow night we will be on BSRN for the Fastenal Winter Series. They'll be racing the Tour Mods at New Hampshire. That'll be a fun watch. So I would say come out. If you're not familiar with the Fastenal Winter Series, if you're not sure, never heard of it, definitely come out there and check it out, man. It's a lot of fun. And tomorrow will be an interesting race. I think it will be a blast. So come out, watch that. On Wednesday night, we got the Goat Locker Series, the Next Gen Series. That's always a good time. So got a lot of stuff going on. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to VSRN. We definitely appreciate it. But y'all have a good night. Congratulations. Get to Cornerstone Motorsports. and David Farmer on the championship tonight. And we'll see y'all next season. Y'all have a good night. See ya.